Hello everyone, thank you for joining me today. So my name's Elizabeth and I'm so excited to bring you my brand new signature collection today called Beyond the Clouds. So in this video I'm going to be talking through everything that's coming up in the collection, and I want to make a card project with you today and show you some of my projects that I've created already with the collection. So first of all I wanted to talk you through my papers. So in this I've got all these beautiful foiled papers, and I've made sure that they all marry together in colour and in design. So all these papers have been hand drawn by myself with beautiful illustrations that I've made sure all work completely together in a set. So let's quickly show you them. So we've got a purple tone one, again making sure that all the colours harmonise together. We've got that really cloud-like galaxy feel in there. And then we've got this one. So this one's more of your pink and blue tones in here. We've got the woman like longfully gazing up at the moon, which is what I wanted with this collection, knowing that someone else is looking back. And I think that's something really special. And I've included lovely sentiments that we can fussy cut out on these and add them to your cards or projects. So we've got There Are Secrets Beyond the Stars, and how lovely is that to put onto all your different mixed media projects or card samples. And then we've got a lovely navy and blue one. So these colours are really on trend at the minute, and again all married together with the other collections. So we've got this lovely astrology and sun and moonlight feel on here. And we've got illustrations of scattered stars which we can add stamps to. We've got faded images in the background, and again a lovely illustrated image. And then we've got foiled charisma and non-foiled charisma as well, which all have corresponding dies to match, which I think is something so beautiful, and we can decoupage up all these pieces here to really build that scene and create that image. I wanted to show you first of all some cards that I've been working on, just to spark that inspiration at the start of the video. So these are some cards that I've been making and coloured in with the stamps and the dies that are in the collection. So we've got this one, and I wanted to make sure with the collection that the die was huge, so you could add all your products to it. You can add your cadence structure paste, glitters, anything that you wanted to, and we wanted a lot of surface area on there so we can really utilise all the cadence products on there. And then I've made sure all the stamps work together. We've got corresponding sizes, so this matches the die, the lady fits inside, the sun is the same size as the moon, so nothing doesn't work together, and that's something I really made sure when I was creating the collection. Everything had to work together. I've included beautiful sentiments on here and stars and everything that you'd find in that space and cloud-like feel. So I'm so excited to make this card. So I wanted to show you something a little bit different, but I want to show you something with using all the products that are in my collection. All I've done here is I've cut the size of the card that I'm going to be stenciling on first, because we want to get this drying. So I'm going to be using my stencil. So this stencil is a 12 by 12 stencil. You've got your astrology circle in here. We've got a moon wreath, clouds. Again, we've got all those space-like textures. Everything in here can be built up, which again, that's something that I wanted. It's not just a stencil. There's loads of pieces in here that work together with each other. You can build up scenes, you can overlay all the images. So say the planet overlays the circles, and we can build it up. We can cut all these elements out and create that 3D scene. So all I'm going to do first, I'm going to take my Cadence stencil spray and spray the stars onto here. And place it down on there. So I'm going to be taking some Cadence Dora Perla in the silver, and any sort of glittery products that you have, or anything that you feel like would give that really nice star-like feel is perfect for this collection. Adding any bits that you feel like would add that little bit of sparkle and something else to add depth and dimension into the backgrounds work great. And mixing products as well, so I like to mix the white with the silver just so we get that really pop of colour against all the backgrounds. So keep on building up your layers of your paste. Taking it through, you can hear all the crystals that are in the Dora Perla, which add that starry-like feel as well. So it's all about building your textures, building up your layers and combining the Cadence products. And you can see I've not been Not been too precious about that, but I know underneath the star is going to look beautiful and have that raised edge. There we go. And then we're going to remove that. So from a really quick and easy step, we've got that beautiful starry background. Now imagine that on your mixed media projects as well. So imagine doing that a little bit bigger, or adding different products through there, such as your sparkle and twinkle, and building up that scene. You could even add your little planets on there as well. Okay, so I've got one that's dry here, and I've started to add some of the dyes that we've got in the collection. So I've added some of the stars and just built them up, and we've got that 3D feel again. So it's all about building up the layers of the stars and adding texture in there. I've added liquid jewels on there too. I might add a few more little stars on here. So I'm using hot glue today, but you can use your foam pads or your wet glue to apply your stars on. Adding these stars onto your projects do create that really nice story. We're creating that moonlit sky when you're looking up to the stars, and you can see all the beautiful glimmering stars, and we have got that sparkle in there as well. So you're setting that scene, and by adding in the either your foam pads or your hot glue, you're creating all that depth and dimension with the stars. So it was really important when I was selecting my cardstock for my collection that I wanted something that had a rice paper-like feel, but I wanted to create mixed media backgrounds that were in paper. So I've picked a 120 GSM uncoated cardstock. So this means that we can still have the thin decoupageable elements that we can put straight onto the canvas. However, we can build this up. So all I've done here is I've cut one of the charismas out using the die, and then all I've done is cut a white base out of the thicker cardstock, and then all you have to do is spray mount them or glue them together. So just to put the size of this die in perspective for you, it's roughly about the size of my handspan. So I've just measured this for you, and it's 14.5 centimetres by 14.5 centimetres. Now how amazing is that going to be, adding that to all your projects? The next stage is I've pre-cut another one, again using the same technique because I want to be able to cut and decoupage them out. But you can use this on your thinner cardstock. You don't have to build this up, but this is just a personal preference. And all I'm going to do is fussy cut some of the flowers. Now they've got amazing snip lines in here. So that was another thing as well. When I was wanting to design the dies with Lauren, I made sure that everything on here was decoupageable. If you wanted to create more of a built-up moon and built-up scenes, or you can leave them flat. It was very important that was the option that you got. And then shaping it with your fingers. And then again, you can use foam pads or hot glue. So you can really go to town with the decoupage. You can add all of your flowers on there, or you can even add the other dyes on there with the matching charisma. All the colours really tone nice together, and all the hues. So you can build like little miniature wreaths with this and really build up on the decoupage and add all that floral charisma on there. So it's just adding those layers, it's building that depth. After you've continued to do so, building up all the flowers, you can keep going with this, as many layers as what you'd like. The next stage is to add the slats onto the back. So all I've done here is I've added construction board little lightning bolts across the back. So this gives a little bit more stability rather than using the straight line slats, but I needed that to be a little bit raised away. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to be adding lights behind here and adding all the decoupage flowers on there. So that's that for the minute. So we're going to go on to the flowers now. So in the die set you do get three flowers. So we've got this one. So this is a beautiful beige shaded rose. And then we've got a pre-decoupaged part of the flower and then a fuller flower. So again, you can make this thicker onto your other cardstocks, or you can leave it on the thin 120 GSM. So we can pinch it, we can use ball tools to mould it. I just like to pinch it between my fingers. And then maybe get a tool just to curl the leaves, And that's the beauty of having a thinner cardstock. You can curl it and mould it and scrunch it up so you've got that real rose-like texture. And then all we're going to do is decoupage it. So I've built up all of the flowers that I'm going to be adding on to the project today. So we've got all these, and you can see I've added more layers, and I've even built up the smaller one as well, so you don't always have to build up the bigger flower. We can add them smaller layers on there as well. I'm just going to move these ones out of the way, and now it's time to move on to the sentiment. So the next step would be building the sentiment Mutton layer. So this sentiment's taken from this paper, and all I've done is cut it out, and we're going to Mutton layer it on to some silver and white cardstock. So all I'm going to be doing is taking off the tape on the back and building this up. So the silver and gold are going to work lovely together and really harmonise the colours in the background as well with the paste that we've used. So lining that up and sticking it down. And again, let's peel the tape off the back. Now you can use other sort of glues, wet glues, or you can use the hot glue, but I prefer to use double-sided tape, and then lining the mat up and sticking it down. So on the final layer, I've applied foam tape. So that's going to be placed onto my card, and that's going to be one of the last steps. So now that's prepped, I'm going to be bringing in my card base. So like the sentiment, we want to make sure that it all marries together, so we've got the silver cardstock on the silver here. So we're going to stick it down. I've had the best time making samples for my collection. I've made all sorts, like I've made home decor pieces, tote bags, box frames. I feel like the possibilities are actually endless with this collection. But for this demo, I wanted to make a card which you can send to someone who you've not seen in a while. We've got that looking up to the moon, knowing that someone's looking back, and that's where the story generated from for my collection. I wanted you to send a card to someone you've not seen in a while, or send a little project in the post that would mean something to someone that you've not seen in a long time. And then taking the cardstock that we've recently prepped and sticking that one down as well. You could even put this onto foam pads as well, so it's really raised, but it's down to personal preference of your card. You could even use your other cardstocks to mat and lay with, but I just wanted that little bit of glitz in the background just so it's really shiny and sparkling. We've got that lovely space-like feel. So line that up and pop it down. And if you're not as confident to stick it down, we can always add wet glue underneath it, so you still have got that wiggle room just so you can get the mat straight. So yeah, I think I'm happy with that. Yeah. Right, so the next step is sticking everything down, so this is the exciting step. So we're going to be taking the moon. And another top tip for when we're laying out projects to start sticking down is I like to take pictures of them, so I can see when I've taken everything off, I refer back to the picture so I can see where everything was before, so all I have to do is pop it straight back down in the same place. But I'm just going to lay everything out so I can see everything that I've cut and everything that I've got. This is one of my first demonstrations that I have done with my signature collection, and I'm so excited because it's been a long time coming, and the design process, it feels like a lifetime, but it's so worth it when it comes together. Just to see everything, it feels so worth the wait, seeing all your packaging come in and feeling so proud of yourself for doing it. There we go. So pop that one there like that. And then I'm going to be popping the mat inside here, going underneath. So I'm just having a little play around with the compositions here, making sure that I'm happy with where all the colours get in, making sure that everything has a balance on there, and making sure that all the empty space is filled with something. So I'm just tucking the leaves under all the flowers, just building up that scene. So yeah, I think I like that. Got the foiled leaves in here as well, which just add that little bit of something. Just instead of having the black lines on there, we've got that lovely shimmer on there. There we are. So when you're happy with how it's laid out, all we need to do is stick it all down. Okay, so we've sped up the process a little bit and I've hot glued it down. You can either use foam pads or tape, but I've chose to use hot glue just so I've got that little bit more of depth and dimension in there. So I really want to add craft lights into the back of here. So I've marked out where I need to make a hole in the back. So all I'm going to do is place a bit of foam underneath and pop a hole into the back. A little bit bigger. And then I'm going to post the lights in through the hole. So by adding craft lights, it's a really simple and easy technique, but it's something that looks really effective. And by adding lights to this card, it's going to make it a sample that you can keep out all year round. So you can give it as a gift, or you can put it in a frame. And all you have to do is switch the lights on, and it's going to highlight all them nice colours in there. It's going to highlight the sparkle that we've put down in the background with the stars. So how amazing is that going to look on your mantelpiece, in a frame on the wall, or in a child's bedroom as like a little night light? It's just going to look so beautiful. I'm going all the way around. So by using hot glue, I want that permanent and quick adhesion to the cardstock. So if we're using wet glue, we're going to have to sit there and hold it for a while for it to set. But using hot glue allows it to be a really quick process so we can get it onto the card, because I know you'll be dying to turn the lights on like myself. So this is just going to light up the card and make sure that the gold foiling on the flowers is all going to show up. It's going to look beautiful when it catches the light. Keep on sticking it down, working its way around. We don't want to be able to see any of the wire or the light, so just making sure that when you're working on the project, just to make sure all the wires are hidden in the back. So remember, this is just a starting point that I've given you today, but you can create all these beautiful samples at home yourself. There we go. So now all we need to do is add a little bit of glue to the cardboard slats that we've previously made. So by adding the construction board slats on there, it's just going to lift the moon away, and it's going to give the lights the luminosity to shine off the card, so we're going to pick up all the colour and the shine. There we are. And then making sure that you're happy with the positioning. I'm going to stick it down, make sure it's in place. And then stick this one down. So now's the time for my favourite step, which is turning the lights on. So let's just pop them on, and how amazing does that look? I think that looked better than what I expected it to. So this is the finished card sample now. I'm so happy with it. It's lovely when you turn the lights on to see it all come together and see how it all sparkles against the gold. I have made another sample actually where it's got lights in the back just using the stencils. So we put that one on as well. And look how beautiful craft lights work in the collection. Using all the different products and all the sparkly elements that we've got in this collection really just work well together and marry together lovely. So this collection's coming up soon on Create and Craft. So it's my signature collection, Beyond the Clouds. There is a link below if you would like to see more. But thank you for joining me today, and I hope this sparked a little bit of inspiration for you and you love what I've made for you.